Hey there, Libra. Welcome to your reading for the end of the year. We're going to do from October to December, and we're just going to do a past, present, future spread. You have this wave of emotions. It says a new experience will enter your life that will stir a wave of emotions within you. You have this wealth of knowledge. It says connect to the knowledge in your soul to teach and help heal the world. So it is like an emotional end of the year. We had those two eclipses that were both kind of emotional, especially the Pisces eclipse. And, I think people are still feeling those emotions. The eclipse energy, as I always say, can last for like 6 months. So, it could be a time where you are more connected to your emotions or you're just feeling them on a deeper level. Everybody's had the tower, so, I just wouldn't be surprised if there were more global tower moments at the end of the year here, of course. And like I said, this has come up for every single person. Wouldn't really worry about it. But you start with in your past position, you have the Nine of Cups, the Four of Swords, and the Four of Wands. The Nine of Cups, of course, can be like a wish or, hoping and wishing for something to happen in your life. And there's no doubt about it with the Tower and then the Six of Swords that there might have, recently been something where you were hoping for a different outcome than whatever happened. And, what's really interesting, actually, what I really want to start with here, Libra, and I'm just going to tell you, is like I feel like I should go like this for the first row, because you go Nine of Cups to the Tower. It's like you were wishing for something that you thought you wanted. And, this could have happened in the past at any time. And then the Six of Swords is like you had to move on from something you thought you wanted. And even the Two of Wands is, it's almost like this reading is saying that you had to move away from something that you thought you wanted or that you were wishing for because there's something like new coming in for you. The Two of Wands, he's standing where he has always been, and he has the whole world in his hands, and he thinks that he wanted what he's received, which is he built that castle that he is standing at the top of here. And the story of this card is that he rushed to a finish line and he didn't really enjoy the journey, and so he kind of like rushed to get something that he thought he wanted in life. And because of that, he's like not seeing all the opportunity that is in his hand with that World card. And so it's almost like that happened to you recently or in the recent past, I would say, where you had to like move on from something that you thought you wanted. And that's kind of like the feeling I get here, especially with that Tower. Again, I still think there are going to be plenty of global Tower moments, plenty of surprises. But, for the most part, I feel this was a wish. I feel like you're still healing from this. It's a great time for healing. And I would just take as much time as you need to heal from whatever you've been going through. And, that's really all I get here with the Four of Swords. I would say that, the good part about this reading as well is that you go Four of Swords to the Six of Swords. So it's kind of like you're done with your healing. The Six of Swords, this row is your present position. And so it says presently you are moving past all of the healing that you have done, which is, again, probably a good thing. And it says that you're like finally moving forward. You have the Four of Wands. Four of Wands can be marriage, but the Four of Wands is really a card of freedom and being set free. I feel like the universe wants you to be more set free, especially with that Two of Wands. It's like Two of Wands can be good. It's like he has accomplished something, and it's not necessarily bad what he has accomplished. I just think the universe wants you to have more. And that's what this reading is saying. And you even have this wealth of knowledge card that you started with. And it's almost like if you were to stay in whatever this is in your life, that you wouldn't be able to share all your knowledge. This card says that you have to connect to the knowledge in your soul to teach and help heal the world. So for a lot of you, I kind of get the vibe that this is about probably the Hermit at the end. The Hermit, he has escaped to the top of a mountain, and I always say that I think he needs to come down from the mountain and share his knowledge, share everything he learned, and we'll talk about that in a minute. With the Nine of Cups, you have the Death card. Yeah, like I said, we already talked about this, the death of some sort of wish or the transformation of a wish. And, the other way that this could have manifested in your life, Libra, is that you got something that you wish for and you didn't want it. It's like sometimes that can happen in life too. We think we want something, then we get it, and we realize that we don't. And so I kind of feel that energy for some of you as well. With the Four of Swords, you have the Seven of Cups. This is like almost like too much information is the words that I'm getting off of the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups can be being spoiled for choice, but I kind of feel that maybe you are realizing that a lot of decisions from your past were based off of too many inputs, like, inputs from other people, opinions of other people, or just even your environment required certain like changes in your life that maybe you didn't want to make. And this reading is starting to make me lean towards the idea that you are becoming more independent, like making your own decisions and not relying so much on external inputs, which, again, could be other people's opinions, could be other people, could be the world, could be whatever. And it's almost like this is saying that you're moving towards your own life, which, again, this is going in a good direction. And here you go. With the Four of Wands, you have the Nine of Pentacles, card of being independent. It really wouldn't be a Libra reading without the Nine of Pentacles. We always are talking about environment, or your environment, the energy that's around you, the things you surround yourself with, the people that you surround yourself with. And, the Nine of Pentacles is really a card of creating heaven on earth. But she does this by curating her environment. Like, she makes sure that everything in her environment aligns with her, right? And so I think a lot of you are stepping into this energy of like almost curating an environment, and that makes a lot of sense as well. Next, in the area of your present position, you have this cold moon. It says face your fears. You also have this blood moon. It says courage on it, which is, these two basically say the same thing. You have to be courageous to face your fears. It seems to me like it is a great time to face a fear. And again, we're not talking about something dangerous here, but, I always say that everything you want is on the other side of something you've never done before. And so obviously, if you've never done something, it might not be like a major fear. It might not be something where you're shaking in your boots, Libra, but, it could be a little bit of a fear where, it really, I think you should change the word to excitement, right? You have the Tower. Again, I think we're in for a crazy end of the year for sure. Every single person has had the Tower, and it just seems like, the energy probably could be crazy. And I'm not even, people have asked, like, are you talking about the election? I'm like, probably, but probably also all sorts of other stuff that we can't even think about right now. So, I think that, keep your head on straight. The Tower really isn't that bad of a card. It's about coming down to reality. These people have been ignoring reality for too long. They've been building these walls up around them, and now they're being brought back down to reality. So I always say, like, really, how bad is it to see the truth, right? And yeah, sometimes the truth hurts, but at the same time, it's the truth. So I don't really look at the Tower as that bad of a card. And like I said, everybody's had it. Again, which has happened a lot this year, where sets of readings get the Tower. And, the other thing I would say is that, again, I think this could be a realization where you're realizing that something you wish for isn't really what you want, and now you're moving forward with the Six of Swords. So the Six of Swords is a card of completely moving forward, moving on. This woman and the child, they have nothing but the clothing on their back, and they're moving across these choppy waters, hopefully to calmer shores, and they are being guided. So I feel that you are being guided towards calmer shores, towards improvements, especially if you already have experience. Like, I feel like some of you already have experienced this Tower moment. I feel like the Tower was probably the realization that a wish isn't really what you wanted, or something that you were hoping for wasn't really what you wanted, and you're just being guided towards something better. I think the best thing you can do is probably the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands isn't a bad card. It can be a card of progress and expansion and growth, kind of. And, sometimes I feel the answer to the Two of Wands is variety. It just says, variety is a spice of life. Same thing with the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups can sometimes say that maybe we're in a position where we're bored. We're imagining something better. Like, he's dreaming of good things and bad things in those cups on the Seven of Cups. But really, he needs to go out and explore. He needs to go out and have new experiences to find things that he just enjoys in life, or to find happiness. I get comments all the time as well where people say they don't know what makes them happy, or they don't know what will fulfill them. And I always tell those people they have to go explore and find things that make them feel fulfilled, right? And that's kind of what I feel on this Two of Wands. I feel like it's encouraging the exploration of life, and, it kind of says variety is a spice of life as well. So, definitely a good time for you to get out into the world. With the Tower, you have the Seven of Wands. Yeah, like I feel like we're stuck on this maybe for a little bit of time with the Tower, and this kind of reminds me of like a relationship. And for some of you, maybe it was, but for some, I'm just going to use a relationship as an example. It's like sometimes we stay in those relationships where we really want them to work, but even if we know that they aren't working, and that is definitely the Tower with the Seven of Wands, like really trying to make something work that isn't working. And I feel like some of you did that maybe in the past. With the Six of Swords, you have the Seven of Swords. You have the Seven of Swords twice. Seven of Swords can be lying, cheating, stealing, but really the Seven of Swords is a card of tactics. I believe we're in a time where we have to be tactical. There are pretty much better ways to do everything, and that's what I always think of with the Seven of Swords. And sorry, this is the Nine of Swords. I don't know why I thought this was the Seven of Swords, but, I kind of feel like that was intuitive. The Nine of Swords would say that you are in, and you do have the Seven of Swords, so there you go, but the Nine of Swords would be like a never-ending nightmare, a round situation, which also makes sense with the Tower. The Tower, Nine of Swords can absolutely cause a Tower to happen in our lives, because with the Nine of Swords is a card of needing to choose to make a change. Normally the guy is sitting in the bed and he has that blanket across his lap, and that blanket is a comfort blanket, so he's in a situation where he's very uncomfortable and he knows that it's not working, but he's kind of being comforted by the blanket, so it's like not painful enough for him to make a change, but he still is in pain. And so that is exactly what I described basically on the Seven of Wands and that Tower. It's like being in a situation where it's not working, but staying in it anyway. And so I think that a lot of you are about to make a big change. With the Two of Wands, you have the Five of Wands. A lot of inner conflict at the end of the year as well. A lot of people have had the Five of Wands. And so the Five of Wands is conflict and competition, but I have been kind of feeling this as inner conflict, or people feeling conflicted about the changes that they're making. And again, you have that Courage card, you have the King of Wands right next to all this, which, the King of Wands is also about being brave, bold, assertive, really going for what you want. And so I feel for a lot of you, courage is going to be the solution to the Five of Wands, getting out into the world, trying new things, and being courageous. Next, in your future position, you have really good cards. You have this Hummingbird Spirit, says, be here, be now. You also have this Turkey, it says, give with grace and gratitude, or gratitude and grace. So the turkey is a symbol of abundance. The hummingbird can represent a long journey. Hummingbirds have very long migration routes and they travel very far to get to their nectar. So the hummingbird can be a symbol of getting to the end of a long journey and finally getting your nectar, or finally getting your reward. And so I feel for a lot of you, that could be what's going on here. You have the Queen of Pentacles, Page of Wands, and the King of Wands. Queen of Pentacles is about resourcefulness and being resourceful, which I think this whole entire year, pretty much the Queen of Pentacles has come up a lot, and has really been asking people to be resourceful or to use their resources in an intelligent manner. And so I'd make sure you're doing that. I feel pretty good about money here. So if you're like hoping to improve your finances, then I also think that she could be saying that you're doing things to improve your finances. You have the Page of Wands. Page of Wands, again, is about going on an adventure, traveling, traveling around, being enthusiastic, following your enthusiasm as well. And so I think it would be a great time to do that, especially with the Two of Wands. Two Wands, Page of Wands, then we go to the Seven of Swords. This can say, be open to other ways of doing things in life, and that will lead to the most success. But the Page of Wands is really about your enthusiasm. You also have the King of Wands. King of Wands is about being bold, being assertive, really going after what you want. It's also a card of being kind of like a visionary. And right next to it, the Two of Wands is a card of foresight. So these two cards can almost represent seeing the future, in the sense that you are coming up with very unique ideas for your life, or you are coming up with like innovative solutions for your life. And I would move towards those innovative solutions, like, especially if it's something unique or different. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the High Priestess. Definitely a card of trusting your intuition. I think it is also a very intuitive time, and any intuitive messages that you're receiving, I would pay attention to. The other thing is that the High Priestess can represent unlimited potential. She really says that there are no limits to what you can accomplish, even if you think you don't have the resources. Again, Queen of Pentacles says you have to be resourceful, and you might have to find the resources to be successful. But, again, if you are resourceful, then I think you will have unlimited potential. With the Page of Wands, you have the Lovers. There could be a little bit of love here as well. We go this way down the Hermit, which would say that someone has to open up here. But you always get a fire sign in readings with me, so there absolutely could be a fire sign that's in your energy or that you've been thinking about or has been thinking about you. And like I said, this has been a fire sign's been coming up like all year for you, so definitely could be a new connection. With the King of Wands, you have the Hermit twice right here. So the Hermit is about coming down from the mountain, which I do feel is kind of like the main message of this reading, especially with that Wealth of Knowledge card. It says, connect to the knowledge in your soul to teach and help heal the world. So the Hermit has to come down from the mountain. He has to remove himself from isolation. He is in isolation. He is standing at the top of the mountain, and now he has to come down from the mountain, and he has to share what he has learned on his journey. And so a lot of you could be doing this, especially if you have been in a period of isolation with the Hermit, or if you've been in a period where you've been more independent or withdrawn. Might also be a good time to share. Next, you have this Joy and Pleasure card and also this Flow of Abundance card. So we actually see a lot of abundance in with these oracle cards in the reading. You could be doing things in better ways. And, that's simply what the Seven of Swords is saying. We'll talk about it in a minute. And this could be increasing your abundance, like I said earlier, especially with that turkey, that hummingbird. A lot of these cards would say that you've been working hard towards something in your life, and you could finally be getting the results with this flow of abundance. Again, you have the Seven of Swords. You have the Three of Cups and the Hermit. The Seven of Swords, he is being tactical. Again, he's going to war, but he's stealing these swords from this army in the background here instead of going to war. He is kind of like tiptoeing away. So, this can represent doing something delicately. He is carrying those swords by their tips, and he is doing something carefully as well. So I feel that if you're doing anything, like working on anything important, that you need to do things very carefully. This could also, sometimes I think the Seven of Swords can also say that if you're making moves, make those moves in silence, right? And then once you get the result, then you can show the world the result you have received. The Hermit kind of says the same thing. He has climbed to the top of the mountain. He's been doing some soul searching, or he's been searching for his inner voice or his, inner light, and he's done this in darkness. And now that he's found his inner voice or his inner light, he can come down from the mountain and he can share his wisdom. And this reading is definitely kind of leaning in that direction. The Three of Cups is a card of, all the things this card said, joy and pleasure. So I think that it would be a great time for you to like socialize, come out of the cold, so to speak, especially if you've been more withdrawn or you haven't been revealing yourself to the world or anything like that. It might be a good time for celebrations, having fun with people. Of course, it is the holiday season, so, if you're celebrating with people, this could be great. It could also just be great for, socializing and spending time with other people as well. You have the Hermit, probably your most important card here. I really feel like this is what the reading is about. It's like you didn't get something you wish for, and this put you in Hermit mode, but now you've learned a lot from being in Hermit mode, and it's time to kind of show the world what you're made of. And you don't actually have to teach anything. The Hermit, he doesn't necessarily teach. He just shines his inner light. He has learned things. He implements what he learned, and he becomes an example. And so I think and that is probably the best thing that air signs can do over the next 20 years is just be an example. You don't have to tell anyone what to do. All you have to do is show by demonstration what you have learned. With the Seven of Swords, you have the Eight of Cups. Yeah, definitely like a walking away reading as well. So just in general, by the way, this is your outcome position, the Slastro. And so the Eight of Cups would say that you're walking away from anything that no longer serves you. I also feel kind of like you're walking away from the hard way of doing things, and I also feel like you're walking away from the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups, I just see it as like too many, it's like a bunch of things are plugged into you, and this could be like other people's opinions and other people's feelings and things like that, and I feel a lot of you are becoming more independent. With the Three of Cups, you have the Empress, probably focusing on your own independence and probably focusing on your own abundance as well. So again, a lot of abundance showing up here. With the Hermit, you have the Nine of Wands. Yeah, the Nine of Wands is the Wounded Warrior. The problem with the Hermit is that he can get stuck at the top of the mountain. It's like he can want to shut out the cruel, cold world, and he can want to maybe protect himself because there's no one up there at the top of the mountain. But the trick with the Hermit is that he has to come down from the mountain and change the world with what he has learned. And, I think it's time for you to do that with all these energies here. The Nine of Wands also says, like, don't give up. So if there is something you want, especially love, not really a love reading. Again, I think this reading is more about you, but if you do want love, I feel like this is saying you need to like come down from the mountain and open up, and also not give up on the things that you're trying to accomplish. You have this desk card. It says, pay attention to your work. I feel like work is going to be going very well for you. It's kind of funny. You might be thinking, like, there are no Pentacle cards here, really, or there are no abundant cards here. We have these cards of abundance in the Oracle cards, but I kind of feel like it's because, the focus is more on the things that you're changing about yourself, like I said. And it's like sometimes I think just because a reading doesn't talk about something doesn't mean that it's not, like, important for you to work on right now. It's just this is more important. Like, you, yourself, are more important is what this is saying, but I definitely feel you're getting better results for your work. You have this fair woman. It says dealings with relationships with a woman with blonde, gray, or white hair. And then you have this frying pan. It says trouble, accusations. Mars retrograde. We have Mars going retrograde at the end of the year. I would be careful of things like jealousy, gossip, no talking behind people's backs, things like that. You have this stork. It says news of a birth or a new business opportunity. I do feel like there is something coming in for you that has a lot of potential, but it's like you're going to have to be resourceful to get it. Queen of Pentacles, High Priestess. It's like this could be an opportunity for you to do anything, but you're going to have to use your resources, but you might not like have the money necessarily to do it. So, I kind of feel that is the fear that you're overcoming here. You have this tiger. It says doing something risky, taking a chance. Yeah. I definitely feel it would be a great time for you to take a risk, especially if you're getting an opportunity that you kind of can't do, but you can, but you can't at the same time. It's like sometimes I think we get those opportunities where it's like a little bit of a stretch. And so if you're getting any opportunity that's a little bit of a stretch, I feel this is saying it'll be worth it. You have this dog barking. It says advice from a friend. Yeah, I would take like advice from good friends. Three Cups, Empress. These would be people who like really support you and who come from a good place. And so that's the advice I would take here. But pretty interesting reading here, Libra, for sure. But I like it at the same time. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.